Hey, my name is Brody Sanderson, and this is my YouTube channel. For those of you coming back and watching episode 1.5 of my blog, thank you and welcome. And to those of you who are watching for the first time, this is a little vlog series that I'm starting that is kind of documenting my experiences while trying to become a professional cyclist. Before I say anything else, I promise there's riding videos in this. I got a lot of suggestions and recommendations to make sure I put more videos of me riding in, and trust me, I heard you loud and clear. As the 2020 year started, I'd already made a conscious decision to focus on indoor racing a bit more over XC. Just wanted to actually try it and give it a go and see what I really wanted to pursue and focus on long term. And partway through the winter training months, something clicked. Suddenly I was focused and motivated and actually wanted to get out and train, which isn't something I've always felt in years past. Even if I go back through my best years of racing that I've had so far, all my training's always kind of been half-assed, and it was always a struggle for me to get out and properly do my prescribed training. But for whatever reason, this spring was different. I was motivated to get out and train, even after I started working full-time again. Getting up at 5 to ride for 6 was no struggle. It's something I actually wanted to do and looked forward to every day. And more often than not, I'd sneak out for a ride with some friends after work as well, which again isn't something I ever really did. I would ride once and that was it. And it honestly made me feel like there was purpose and reason behind my life and what I was doing and the reasons why I was doing it. For the first time in my memory, I was happy for more than just brief glimpses of time, and I was consistently joyful and happy. It made life so much easier once I'd really committed to training. Then the true 2020 really kicked off. I'm far from unique in this situation. Everyone's lives got turned on end and nothing's really been the same. For racers like myself, racing's been put on hold and at a standstill for anyone except the extreme top. In my working life, I work at a bike store and everyone wanted to be a cyclist this year. So no racing, coupled with everyone and their brother coming out and buying bikes and coming to the store, I was extremely mentally exhausted at the end of every day and really just needed an escape and a break from reality, and naturally mountain biking was that escape for me. It really gave me a chance to recharge my mental batteries and sometimes even give great opportunities for self-reflection on why I love cycling and mountain biking in particular. This is something I touched on in my earlier video, so if you want to watch that, check it out. But anyways, more importantly, I think it really gave me a chance to fall back in love with mountain biking. Over the years of just focusing on training and racing, the kind of magic wasn't necessarily there. It had kind of dissipated a bit, and I really forgot why I loved it. And I got to experience that again, and it really made me want to ride my bike again, which was really important to me. And this kind of breakaway from really structured training and racing gave me an opportunity to explore areas outside of Oromodante, which is something I don't really do too often unless I'm traveling to a race, and even then I just really ride at the race venues and maybe a few local roads within a 20-minute radius, but nothing overly different. Early in the summer I ventured out to Collingwood with my buddy Colton, and we spent a day looking for some elusive trails that we couldn't seem to get, but we were we were able to find a pretty awesome lookout over Georgian Bay. I can't tell you where it was. I have no idea where I was the entire day. We were lost constantly, but it was so much fun, and we did ride some pretty questionable hiking trails that I'm not sure were really bike safe. But well, it was still a good day, and we got to end it off with some pretty sick manuals down the hill, so no complaints there. I also ventured down to Bracebridge quite a few times to ride at the Bracebridge Resource Management Center, also known as the BRMC, as well as Porcupine Ridge. I remember going to Porcupine my first time and thinking it was going to be a lot like Buckwallow. Fairly flat, not much elevation change, pretty rocky in tech, but there's still some flow to be found. And I was wrong. I was very wrong. There's constant elevation change. They do a really good job kind of using everything they have there. There's constant sketchy climbs and descents, lots of rock rolls and little drops, and it's just overall a good, fun place to ride, especially if you want to test your skills and kind of branch out into something other than just the flowy, fast trails that we have here in Oro. I can't recommend it enough, but just be prepared to only kind of, sort of, not really ever be in control of your bike. Plus, I got to ride areas in the SC&DC network that I don't typically ride. Before I say anything more to people who follow me on Strava, yes, I know riding at either Copeland, the Heights, or Horseshoe 5 times a week isn't really considered exploring, but I just love those trails so much and I can never get enough of them. And I kind of want to put some goals down to get some of the more popular downhill KOMs, just as a way to test myself and try and progress my technical skills as well as just my mental ability to process riding fast. And I did get or tie a few that I really wanted, which I wasn't actually anticipating, so I'm really happy that that happened. By the end of the summer, Horseshoe started hosting a downhill race series. It's super low-key, but it was such a fun night, really similar to what Hardwood has done with their cross-country race series over the last, I don't know how many years they've been doing it. And the racing was super tight, which was really cool. It wasn't just massive 2 or 3 second gaps between first, second, and third. Everything was usually down to like a tenth or a couple of tenths of a second, which made it exciting and really pushed all the racers and myself, which I really enjoyed. And Horseshoe had such a great success with this weekly series that they actually hosted an actual downhill race weekend, which is something I've never experienced, and it was super cool. It wasn't just a downhill race. They had a pump track challenge as well as a dual slalom event, which again, stuff that is different and is kind of unique to that more downhill racing scene that we don't see too often here, and it was super fun. In the downhill race, I managed to finish 5th, and it was super close. The top 5 was split between 0.7 of a second. I did some quick maths just to see how much distance that was, and it was a little over a bike length at the end of the track, which is hard to believe that everyone's that close, especially when you're not actually racing side by side and it's just a timed event. And after this, things leveled out a bit. We were even able to race an enduro this year. Mountain View once again was able to host their 9 Lives Enduro, which has always been one of my favorite races of the year ever since I started doing it. It's just a bunch of people going out and enjoying the trails and having fun together, which is really why we all ride bikes. It was pretty sloppy conditions this year. Usually it's hosted in August where it's tons of sun, shiny days, and the clay there is usually pretty hard packed, super fast rolling and grippy. But it was in October this year, which meant rain and some super loose, sloppy, and interesting conditions. I don't think there was one stage where you had grip the whole time. It was super sketchy and super gnarly. I loved every moment of it. Some people might not agree with me, but it was a lot of fun. that race, it kind of brings us to today in December. At the beginning of the month, I started focusing on training again, just wanting to get ready for a race here if we have one, and try and get some routine back in my life, which is something that is important to me and something that I really enjoy. So far it's been pretty smooth sailing. The weather's been fairly mild and moderate for December. There hasn't been too much snow, so getting out on the road bike or even the trails for the most part has been pretty ideal, and it more feels like you're riding in the spring as opposed to December, which is pretty nice. I was initially hoping to purchase a fat bike and then either smart trainer or smart rollers for training this winter. I'm not overly organized, and planning is something that I struggle with quite frequently. So those sold extremely quickly, and I wasn't able to buy any for myself. But oh well, move on and live and learn. As I'm recording this, it is snowing quite heavily. So might be an end to road riding and mountain biking as we know it for the rest of the year, but oh well. As the winter progresses, I'm really wanting to focus on doing a lot of core work. If things open up, maybe going to the gym again and trying to build a little bit more upper body strength. Cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, a little bit of running, some road-ish riding. Actually, I'm going to throw some clips in here just to show you how my sketchy bike looks. And then hopefully some pretty minimal trainer rides. Watson. Sorry. I was all year I've kind of been hoping and planning to go west as things cleared up. I wanted to spend some time on my mountain bike this winter and ride trails that I don't typically ride, that are a little bit more technical and challenging than what I'm used to. And also visit some friends out west that I don't see all that often anymore. But with everything kind of going back into lockdown, I'm starting to rethink that idea. Hopefully it clears up and it's safe to travel and no one's being put at tremendous risk for me to do that, but we'll see as the winter progresses. And I'm also really hoping to regain some of that motivation that I had earlier this year. Winter's not been a time of year that's overly nice to me, so if I can have even a tenth of that motivation, hopefully it'll fly by and we'll be on mountain bikes again soon. Anyways, I can't wait for another month of training and hopefully a fair amount more riding, and we're not stuck on either the trainer or the trainer. I plan on posting something like this at the end of every month. Normally the last day is what my goal is. So until the next time, happy trails, and I'll see you in the new year.